Welcome. I'm so glad that you can join me here today, 267, on what is the soul and how is it different from the ego. Pages 662 and 63, excerpts from The Sovereign Light, named after my ministry. And this is a course in metaphysical spirituality. And my name is Reverend Maria Arvanitides. I'm so glad to have you here present in this moment as you focus on your breathing and leverage where you're at with your frequency and how you're feeling. Take a moment to become aware of the here and now and just let go of everything for the next 15 minutes or so. Or make sure that you can make some time throughout the day to do so. And just breathe. How wonderful it is with every breath that you breathe in and exhale out. Acknowledge your surroundings in this here and now moment. Become receptive to this moment. How present are you? How deep or shallow is your breathing? Are you able to trust enough to surrender into taking deeper breaths? Just give yourself permission and let's go. Just breathe out. Find the peace within all things. Inside of this present moment, and that of love. Embracing this everlasting love is salvation. To give is to allow the activation to occur. By so doing, accept the blossoming of the crystalline self at a biological level and from a blueprint pattern. When the chromatin light up, when they light up, extending outward like a satellite to receive and then transmit back out into the world. As well as regenerating the physical body with the very given information to communicate with in this way and in this way. This is the opportunity to go within, or actually, what is this thing called intuition? From a cellular level, how extended are your telomeres, your antennae? How receptive can you become? Rather, are you feeling, and what it is that you are taking in this present moment. To enlighten, to ascend, and to reawaken by letting go of all the heaviness and dense emotions. Well, just how do we do that? How do we give ourselves permission to do that? This is the opportunity. And for today, won't you join me to say these words out loud and see what you get throughout your day? How is it that you're feeling? Are you embarrassed? Are you, when you say these words, what actually comes out in you? Are you doubting in anything? And why is it that you're doubting, and where? And just work through all these things. And the experiences that brought you to behaving and believing and being this way. What is it that you must let go of? So, sounds good. Let's start. And let's begin with today's activation, daily affirmation. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical, rather than as proton. Take a nice deep breath in. And what a relief. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. And take another deep breath in. And just let go. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. When the physical body of the self can ascend to such enlightenment and as to reach heightened states of consciousness, then the soul can integrate with all of higher self's creative spirit. And this is what it's all about, working that muscle of imagination. Or has your imagination, and where is it in the scale of atrophy? Or, where exactly are you with your imagination? You can test it out. It's very simple, basic. Like I already have done so by asking a group this question. So you come into $1 billion. What would you do with $1 billion? And there you can leverage out where you're at on that scale of imagination, where you're not allowing yourself, where are you needing permission slips, where are you limiting yourself from the abundance all around that you are blocking and rejecting and frankly not feeling worthy enough or deserving enough. And so the sinking feeling is no longer in the way that self had once experienced, and from the hellish purgatory, partly because the self was a carbon based full of death and friction from its opposite and to cause motion in this way, the earth could rotate tilted on its axis. So let's move on now. Take another deep breath in, pages 663. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. The spine of the physical body is named after the first top spinal notches that keep the skull and neck intact. Certainly there were no mistakes made in naming for these parts as the atlas and the axis vertebrae. As the body gets older, the bone density is lost and such a delicate balance. No longer can this possibly be the case because integration has moved it into a clearance for awakening and to realize in this way of just exactly where it was heading. This transition had taken a much needed slower process and form. All its symptoms were once mistaken as illnesses, decay, sickness, and in part for all the alkaline to acidic, the many stresses blamed on aging and then death, metamorphosis. These were the evolutionary stages that plagued for the mortality of self throughout its many resurrected lifetimes to recycle back again. Now it has awakened within the dream in unison to soul, that it can remotely manifest from nothing. The miracle is in the ego that the praise of self had held in place as to falsify a structure, and in a twisted, it has untwisted from all these energetic patterns to release it with the self. Just take a deep breath in. And let it all sink in because it's way too much. And so the purpose for today is in the relationship of divine compassion for the many to trust the holographic individuation within the oneness that is thyself. And I hope you had a wonderful intermission, that you were able, from a day off, to take all this in today, coming back from your day off. And recalibrating anew. And until next time, I hope to have you join me once again on what is the soul and how is it different from the ego on day 268. And throughout the day, that you share with us all your experiences of uncovering so many more things to add to this, feel free to share in the comments down below or wherever you might find this, whether it be Patreon, YouTube, YouGetTube, or the package that is being sold. I will leave you with today in hopes of activating something to experience within your field. And with this affirmation, I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. I am becoming weightless energy from the component of my body as electrical rather than as proton. Are you becoming weightless energy from the component of your body as electrical rather than as proton?